Each person required to enter the F-15 cockpit must be trained on cockpit and egress familiarization. You should have received initial training when you first arrived on station. This video will meet your annual training requirements and will present the correct procedures to safely enter the cockpit of the F-15 aircraft. Warning: failure to follow the procedures outlined in applicable technical data could result in personal injury or death and damage to the aircraft. Before beginning any task on the aircraft, be sure you let the production expediter know what you will be doing. Check the aircraft forms to make sure the canopy can be opened without damage to the aircraft or associated equipment. A 781A entry in most cases will warn you not to operate the canopy system if damage may be caused by the canopy opening or closing. If this is the case, call the production expediter for further information. After determining it is safe to operate the canopy, follow these procedures to open the canopy of the F-15 aircraft. The first step is to extend the aircraft retractable boarding steps. Warning: make sure all personnel are clear of the retractable steps prior to pushing the release button. The free fall of the steps could cause serious personal injury. After pushing the release button located on the retractable step door, lower the steps by hand. When the steps are fully extended, climb up the steps to the canopy external control handle. To prevent damage to the canopy from excessive wind loads, the canopy must not be operated and must be closed and locked in winds greater than 60 knots. The canopy should be manually restrained to prevent damage from excessive opening forces if the canopy hydraulic system is suspected of containing air and the wind is gusting above 15 knots. These guidelines are to be followed during flight line maintenance operations in accordance with Technical Order 1F-15-2-05JG-00-1. To prevent damage to the canopy or the aircraft, the canopy must not be raised to the maintenance position or removed if wind gusts are greater than 30 knots. Extreme caution must be used to restrain the canopy if the wind gusts are up to 30 knots. These guidelines are to be followed when the canopy is being prepared for removal or the forward ejection seat is to be removed. To open the canopy using normal procedures, extend the canopy control handle by pushing the release button in the center of the handle. Caution: to prevent damage to the canopy control cables, do not exceed 45 pounds of force on the F-15A and C models. When operating the external canopy handle, do not exceed 90 pounds on the F-15D or E. When the handle is extended, it will pop out about 1 or 2 inches. Grasp the control handle and rotate the handle clockwise to the up position. As the external canopy control handle is positioned to up, the canopy actuator will move the canopy 1.5 inches aft to clear the rollers and raise the canopy. When the canopy is in the full up position, install the canopy ground safety lock. Place the control handle to hold and stow the handle. This puts an hydraulic lock on the canopy control valve. If the canopy fails to open, you will have to open it using the manual method. To manually raise the canopy on the F-15C model, place the canopy control handle in the up position. Caution: to prevent shearing the canopy control cams and attach bolts, the F-15C canopy must be full aft about 1.5 inches before attempting to manually raise the canopy. Insert a 1/2 inch drive tool into the canopy external manual unlock shaft receptacle, located next to door 9. Rotate the handle about 90 degrees and raise the canopy. Position the external canopy control handle to hold and stow the handle. Install the canopy ground safety lock. To install the canopy ground safety lock on the F-15C aircraft, hook the lower end of the strut under the flange between the bulkhead sill and the canopy locking hook. Rotate the upper end of the strut forward and retract the yoke to engage the canopy locking bell crank. Install the quick release pin through the yoke. Make sure the pin is fully seated. Caution: on the F-15C aircraft, if there is no spring tension on the canopy strut yoke, do not attempt to remove the strut. Remove the 1/2-inch drive tool from the unlock shaft receptacle. To manually open the canopy on the F-15D or E model aircraft, if using the JFS pump handle, open the nose landing gear forward door. The door need not be opened if using a 1/2-inch drive handle. Refer to applicable tech data for gear door opening and closing. Ensure that the canopy control handle is in the up position. Then, insert the 1/2-inch drive tool or the JFS accumulator pump handle into the receptacle on the hand pump. Operate the canopy hand pump until the canopy latches clear the rollers. Position a B4 or B1 stand beside the aircraft for easier canopy access. While one person continues to operate the hand pump, another person manually assists the canopy to full up position. Note, the F-15E canopy does not require assistance when opened manually. Position the external canopy control handle to hold and stow the handle. To install a canopy ground safety lock on the F-15DE, remove the quick release pin on the lower end of the strut. Extend the strut, then reinstall the pin in the hole. Position the hook on the bottom of the safety lock under the canopy lock release bell crank. Swing the top of the safety lock forward. Compress the yoke to engage the canopy jettison lever and insert the quick release pin. The canopy ground safety lock will look like this when properly installed. Warning: if the strut is removed, the canopy weight could cause serious injury or death to personnel and damage to the aircraft. Remove the handle from the canopy hand pump in the nose wheel well. Stow the aircraft retractable boarding steps. Make certain the manual release button is flush with the mold line. Now, install the aircraft boarding ladder. Climb the ladder to gain access to the cockpit. Use caution when entering the cockpit area. Check for a fired warning indicator before proceeding. Warning: if a red tube extends from the top of the fired warning indicator, do not enter the cockpit. Notify the expediter. Call egress immediately and keep others away from the aircraft. The warning device indicates partial egress system activation. A red telescope tube will extend about 5 inches if the fired warning indicator has been activated. If this condition exists, do not enter the cockpit area. Prior to entering the cockpit, check to ensure that the seat has been made safe by ensuring the ejection control safety lever is up and locked in the safe position. A pin is installed in the left ejection handle, and another pin is installed in the emergency manual chute release handle, located on the right side of the seat. Prior to entering the cockpit of the F-15DE or C, a safety pin must be installed in the canopy internal jettison handle. This pin is for ground use only. When working on the F-15C, a safety pin must be installed in the canopy actuated initiator. It's located on the aft bulkhead of Equipment Bay 5. On the F-15DE, a safety pin must be installed in the canopy actuated initiator, located in the cabin air pressure regulator cavity, under the aft end of the canopy, aft of the regulator. Now you are ready to enter the cockpit of the F-15 aircraft. When entering the cockpit, do not step on the sides of the seat or hold on to the parachute straps or the top of the seat. Use caution when in the cockpit to prevent damage to the throttle grips. Care must be used when working in Equipment Bay 5 of the F-15C aircraft. Shielded mild detonating cords run in all directions, so watch your step. These lines are the lifelines of the egress system. On the F-15D and E front and rear cockpit areas, shielded mild detonating cords run in all directions. Use caution not to damage any of these lines. Warning: Door 9 should only be opened during emergencies. Never move the canopy jettison handle unless you have the need to rescue someone from the cockpit. Now let's have a look at the ACES 2 seat. The ACES 2 ejection seat has a mechanical locking lever in the forward left side of the seat. The lever is spring-loaded forward when placed in the safe position, locking the ejection handles. You should see a yellow and black checkerboard pattern on top of the lever. The left ejection handle has a quick release pin installed as a backup safety to prevent pulling the ejection handles. The left and right handles are interlocked by a crossbar. To prevent damage to the seat and related equipment, lap belts must be buckled. Survival kit straps must be laying on the seat pad cushion. The emergency manual chute release handle, located on the right side of the seat, has a quick release pin installed in it. The harness release system on the ACES II is activated by an explosive. A green ring, located at the aft end of the left seat rail, activates the emergency oxygen bottle when pulled. Be careful not to pull this ring. The emergency oxygen lanyard, located on the left rear corner of the seat, is unprotected. Be exceptionally careful not to pull this cable, or it will activate the emergency oxygen system. The pitot tubes on the top of the seat detect airspeed and altitude. Damaging these in any way could cause the ejection system to malfunction. In review, the following critical safety devices must be checked prior to entering the cockpit. Check the fired warning indicator for a safe indication. A visible red tube is an unsafe indication. Call Egress immediately and keep others away from the aircraft. On the ACES II seat, check that the mechanical locking lever is forward in the safe position and the 2 safety pins are installed. Make sure the safety pins are installed on the canopy internal jettison handle and in the canopy actuated initiator in Equipment Bay 5 or behind the cabin air pressure regulator. Any questions you might have about the information in this program should be directed to your immediate supervisor, on-the-job trainer, or course instructor.